What's up, y'all? Ty back here with another video. And in this video today, guys, we're going to be reacting to a video titled, Why is the most disrespected player in the NBA by MJ2K all day? Now, interested to hear why he thinks he's the most disrespected player and some insight he can provide on why Rudy Gobert is a good defense player. I hope this isn't just a bash Rudy video. I hope that's not what this is.
Now, we should have expected this after a switch.
Rudy's been good in switch situations this year. Just want to tell you guys.
Rudy getting twirled like a ballerina, and
that was bad defense, though. I'll give Luka credit. That's bad defense.
Everyone making jokes.
Got it! What a shot! Making the lead!
But what people don't remember is this.
The pick Gobert on Luka Doncic. They double him in the paint, ties him up, knocked away.
Or the fact that nearly every defender has consistently gotten cooked by.
The thing for me is Gobert has been good in switch situations. I'm just saying, overall, this year, not even throughout his career this year.
Luka and Kyrie. But that hasn't stopped the reporters for years.
I think I hated the Rudy Gobert trade more for Minnesota
Here's
than any
clown Bill Simmons. I can't stand him.
trade for the last 30 years.
Me personally, I'm not a Gobert fan on the defensive end.
I think it's a little overrated on that side.
Yeah, I definitely think so.
Oh, Rudy?
Yes.
Thank you.
Rudy Gobert, Defensive Player of the Year. Boy, that's cat. Repo it.
I agree, bro. So, you know, all the big guys that can't jump, that can't run, all you got to do is continue to work hard, continue to play, and you can possibly... This guy is one of the best. Awesome. No, he ain't one of... Stop it.
I've never seen a player with this many.
He has, like, everybody hates Rudy Gobert. Everybody. And I don't get it. Is it just because he's not aesthetically fun to watch?
Accolades be so universally thought of as incapable by current and former players as Rudy Gobert. In fact, in a recent player poll, Rudy Gobert was voted as the most overrated player in the NBA. Now, Gobert offensively is one of the worst centers I've ever seen. Apart from
Bro, what? Why do I not remember him shooting this?
Gobert offensively is one of the worst
Why do I not remember him shooting this, dude?
centers I've ever seen. Apart from whatever the F this
That was a crazy
the
shot.
bench reacted like it was a game winner.
Bruh.
And
It basically won the game for us, dude. Honestly, that's a crazy shot.
defensively in the playoffs,
man.
he has been part of some infamous moments that even I've roasted him for. But when the talk is this loud after playing good defense, I think it deserves another look. Cause here
Thank you. Thank you.
on this channel,
I don't even want to go back to the Utah days because he was a way different defensive player than he is now.
we find out the truth. It's time to verify these claims with stats and the things that don't get tracked and see if we've all been lied to. Because if so, Rudy Gobert is the most disrespected player in the NBA.
He is.
What is up, dudes? That's Ballers Players. It's your boy MJ. To understand how we got here, we need to answer the question, why is Rudy Gobert so hated? He started from a 59 overall 2K rating, completely raw talent in 2013, who would win his first Defensive Player of the Year in 2018. He is one of only 3 players in NBA history that have won Defensive Player.
And you can hate on that, but at the end of the day, Rudy doesn't vote for the Defensive Player of the Year. So people do respect him, but it's like the NBA media doesn't.
The year 4 times. But Rudy's also been a part of some bonehead moments that impacted the league.
The COVID moment is crazy. This is crazy.
Like touching all the mics joking about COVID and then getting him and his teammates sick? Damn. To crying about not getting selected for the All-Star game? No wonder he's thought of as the soft Frenchman. But by far, the #1 reason for all the hate has to be his 5-year, $205 million contract signed in 2021. To which Shaq said,
I'm not going to hate, but this should be an inspiration to all the little kids out there. If you average 11 points in the NBA, you can get 200 million.
That's such an arrogant statement. That's literally such an arrogant statement that makes me mad. I mean, Ben Wallace, he wasn't great offensively. He was a good NBA player. That's a horrible statement to make. Like that just makes me so irritated just hearing somebody with his platform say that. It just is like Shaq, like he's it's an arrogant statement. That's the truth behind it.
Because offensively, Rudy Gobert is a fumbling tragedy with no hands, no footwork, nothing.
He shot like 70% from the line this year, so.
For comparison, Defensive Player of the Year Marcus Smart signed a 4-year, $76 million.
Also, when did they sign it? That matters too. I mean, that matters too. I don't know when Marcus Smart signed his contract. But if he's look, if Gobert made an All-NBA team, then guess what? He's going to get the Supermax. That's how the NBA works.
$1 million deal in 2022. Rudy's contract makes absolutely no sense. Man can't punish mismatches, misses alley-oops, and to me, defensively has strengths which are great, but not the most optimized for this era. The contract Rudy got was one for a superstar, and that pissed off players even more, which led to two big claims. Number one, Rudy Gobert didn't deserve.
I hate the whole stance of, oh, a player didn't deserve this contract. Whose contract is better, Rudy Gobert or Bradley Beal's? Like, that's the whole thing. It's like, if a player like has an All-NBA season, then guess what? They're gonna get paid. It's just the way the NBA works.
Winning Defensive Player of the Year. And the second is to do with the playoffs, which we'll get to. But first, we need to focus on the regular season because DPOY is a regular season award. Rudy has a 7'9" wingspan. That is the 7th largest wingspan in NBA history. Whether you want to admit or not, that single-handedly makes him a freak of nature.
People don't want to go up in the paint because Rudy is there. It's obvious.
Ready to block shots. Pair that with his ability to move his feet well enough at that size, and he actually covers a lot of ground. At least that's what the stats show, because we can go through each of his Defensive Player of the Years and see if he actually deserved them. In 2018, the 3 finalists were Rudy Gobert, Joel Embiid, and Anthony Davis. And if you look at steals and blocks for the 3, it looks like Anthony Davis would win. Until you look at the fact that the Jazz were the best defense in the NBA.
And who did he play with? That's the whole thing. Who did he play with? How does he impact winning?
And the Lakers were 13th. And when you realize that the Jazz became an absolute shit show without Gobert becoming 21st when he wasn't on the floor because they quite literally have horrible perimeter defense, and you start to appreciate Gobert more. And this wasn't just for 1 year. Here's a chart of allowed efficiency on shots defended from the field from 2020 to 20.
This matters. Like, this matters. As closest defender.
2022, where the lower you are, the better. The more to the right, the more shots he took. You can see Darius Garland well above league average. Then you get to around league average Siakam with a lot of shots defended. Jokic is falling right below league average. Jared Allen and Giannis are pretty low.
So y'all can tell this is not just a random stat.
Here is Rudy Gobert.
It's valid. Look, all the good defenders are on the bottom side of it. It's valid. Look at Rue. Look at Rue. But y'all don't want to. Y'all don't want to talk about that. Y'all rather look at the block stats, the steal stats, all those things. Look at Rue.
Yup, with the most shots defended and the lowest points allowed. He is in his own category. Damn. The Jazz defense was designed with Rudy covering the bad defense of Donovan Mitchell, Mike.
That's what I'm saying. Around him, they did not have good defenders.
Conley, pretty much everyone.
Okay, Conley's not that bad of a defender, but you know.
Is also why Rudy defended the most shots in that time span, simply because everyone got to the paint against the Jazz and he had to make it work. This is tragic, but there's stuff the stats don't show, like just how much players are unwilling to take a shot at the rim. On this possession, there's 5 instances of players not even attempting to challenge Rudy at the rim. Yeah, the Rockets, the team that only shot threes and layups due to analytics, didn't want to find out. During this 3-year stretch, Rudy Gobert won Defensive Player of the Year in
as he should
2021 over Ben Simmons and Draymond. And I'll put up the steals and blocks comparison for the 3.
Like, come on, he averaged 2 and 2.7 blocks. Like, come on.
But what is more important here again is impact. Rudy has the most defensive win shares and the lowest defensive rating.
Look who is on the court with him: Donovan Mitchell, Joe Ingles, and Jordan Clarkson. I don't even know who that other guy
Even
is.
in
Eric Pascal, is that who is? I don't know.
2022, when the candidates are Marcus Smart, Mikal Bridges, and Gobert, he has the highest defensive win shares and the lowest defensive rating. But the Celtics had the best defense in the NBA and led to Marcus Smart winning the award, which in my eyes is deserved. You might have noticed I skipped 2019, the award race between Giannis, Paul George, and Rudy, so let's go through it now. Rudy has the highest blocks of the three, PG with more steals, but again, the Jazz had the #1 defense. Nope, that actually goes to the Bucks and Giannis. Jazz were #2. Defensive win shares between Giannis and Rudy are the same. Giannis was more versatile, Rudy a better rim protector. This is the year you can make an argument that someone else other than Rudy could have won.
If you want to put Giannis as a winner, okay, I get it. But it's like you can't discredit what Rudy did. Because he won it. It's not his fault he won it. He still impacted defense and impacted winning.
And that would make Rudy one of 4 players with 3 or more DPOIs. I'm not saying he didn't or did deserve it. It's a little bit more up in the air. And this year in 2024, again, not much of a comparison. Wembanyama had the better counting stats by far.
It does not matter. Gobert deserved it this year. They won 12, 13 games. Come on, stop it.
Gobert more defensive win shares and a lower defensive rating. But Rudy helped lead the #1 defensive team in the NBA by a decent margin. The difference between the #1 Timberwolves and #2 Celtics is
2.5 nearly. Like, my goodness.
the same between the #2 Celtics and #10 Rockets. While Wemby's impact unfortunately did not lead to an insane defense for the entire season, only more towards the end did the Spurs actually become better, they finished 21st.
How are you going to give a defensive player of the year to a guy that they finished 21st? And if you want to blame anybody, blame the Spurs and their roster, but let's be honest. You can't give it to Wemby.
That if the Spurs were a bit better, top 15 even, then this would be a different combo. So for nearly all of his defensive player of the years, it was a no contest. A clear no-brainer Rudy Gobert victory because he was by far the most impactful defender in the NBA. Might want to change Shaq's comments to, if you're 7'1" with a 7'9" wingspan that is agile enough to cover 10 feet in 2 seconds, you can get 200 mil in the NBA. That contract is still crazy though, but we can't.
It's not like, look, you want to talk about the NBA's highest paid players? Let's talk about it. Paul George is making more than Gobert. Bradley Beal is making more than Gobert. Kawhi, whose injuries are crazy, is making more than Gobert. Kawhi's better than Gobert, but he's so injured it doesn't matter. Dame's making more than Gobert. Klay Thompson is making more than Gobert. Fred VanVleet's making the exact same. Trae Young is. Zach LaVine is. Tobias Harris basically is. Ben Simmons is. You want to talk about Gobert's contract? He is basically average for the people making that much money. So I don't understand why that hate is there. I don't. It doesn't make sense to me either.
Say his defense isn't. Okay, but what about the playoffs? Because that's the second claim, that Rudy Gobert is not a good defender.
He is fantastic in the playoffs.
The Jazz struggled 4 years in the playoffs with opponents shooting better against them than they did in the regular season. And we remember moments like these.
I didn't know he had that in him, and I'm sorry I doubted that.
Or moments with the Clippers where Terrence Mann turned into Ray Allen in the corner for 39 points, but when you dive deeper, you begin to see the actual problem. What is this perimeter defense? Because here,
like, again, it's the same thing in this series. If Luka and Kyrie blow by the first defender, it's a 2-on-1. What is Rudy supposed to do?
What is this perimeter
Like, genuinely,
defense?
what is Rudy supposed to do in this situation? It's just tough.
Because here, we're always in the business of finding the truth, the good, the bad, the ugly, and giving y'all the content you deserve. So, subscribe if you're into that.
Go
Like
subscribe
here,
to my man.
Didn't Rudy gets by Mitchell so easily? Is Rudy supposed to leave for the open layup? The help defender here has to do a better job playing two.
Yeah, you play two and then you can rotate out of it. Like, that's not Gobert's fault.
Or Donovan Mitchell needs to switch and sprint towards the open man. Because when he doesn't, it's just a layup. And we can actually see moments like that against the Clippers in 2021. Like, if Reggie Jackson is getting by a perimeter defense this easily, I don't know what Rudy Gobert is supposed to do.
This is bad.
While it's true
Like, genuinely, he gets so much hate for that series, but what is he meant to
that
do?
a 5-out offense can diminish Rudy, which I do not just want to sweep over, the Jazz perimeter defense was not there. And
What happened when the Suns went small this year? They tried it. It didn't work.
that allows a 5-out offense to work if you can't keep people in front of you. Rudy's defense was to make up for a lot of these mistakes. But bro, your defense is going to shit no matter what if this is a regular
They have Clarkson, Donovan Mitchell, and Bogdanovich out there. What do they expect?
happening.
Dinwiddie gets right around Mitchell.
Come on, man.
What
Like, what do they expect? And they were still a top defense. Why? Because of this man and Rudy Gobert.
I think is a problem is when Rudy Gobert gets switched onto the perimeter, and yes, he gets beat, but so do a lot of bigs. Yet we never really talk about moments like this. With the game tied, Rudy is switched onto Luka Doncic, and yup, he stops him. We couldn't really see Rudy in a normal playoff environment. That is until this year, where the Timberwolves are literally in the Western Conference Finals. If your playoff defense hinges on one defender, it's gonna get exposed no matter what. And even then on the Jazz, without him, their defensive rating was 123.2, with him 119.5, so still better.
Way better.
I will say in the modern NBA, Rudy's value is not as high as it would be 15 years ago.
Okay, valid. 100%
The
valid.
only issue is that it seems like there's only one way for Rudy to be used defensively, and that is in the paint as a shot deterrent. But is that because he's only great at one attribute and sucks at the rest, or is it that the teams haven't been
Look at him from three.
creative enough with him? But no matter what, that doesn't make him responsible if someone plays out of their mind.
Like, again, you can't leave Jokic on an island versus anybody. He's going to cook them.
Jokic's performance in Game 5 is something that simply couldn't be stopped. And we've seen this before. Anthony Davis, a Defensive Player of the Year candidate, continuously got cooked. And Draymond Green, who's been running a public...
I cannot stand Draymond Green. I cannot stand Draymond Green. He's horrible.
campaign against Rudy on Inside the NBA held Jokic without Murray before MPJ was healthy to 31 points, 13.2 rebounds, and 5.8 assists over 5 games.
Good job,
I'm not
Draymond.
saying that's bad defense. Jokic is simply the best offensive center. Not easy to guard for anyone, period. And Rudy did defend these shots well. If you want to talk about no aura, I'll agree with you there.
Again, that's fine. Is he ugly to watch? Fine, sure.
Intimidation in the postseason isn't there, but he's still playing good defense and affecting shots. It's easy to blame Rudy because he's unique and gets got, but every great defender gets got because they put themselves in situations over and over again to get crossed or dunked on. I'm not saying Rudy Gobert is the best defender we've ever seen. I'm also not saying that he's the perfect defender for the playoffs. But when you look at the numbers, you look at the games,
No defender's perfect for the playoffs. Like, what are we talking about here? Name a defender that's perfect for the playoffs. What? What are we doing?
look at the nuance, it's clear that Rudy is quite literally a great defender. Maybe not worth the contract, but
Stop bringing up that contract, dude. Players get overpaid all the time. All the time. If somebody makes an All-NBA team, they're gonna get paid. It's the way the NBA is shaped.
doesn't deserve all the disrespect he gets.
He doesn't deserve
what he's
any of
achieved.
it.
And it's kind of sad that former and current NBA players just can't recognize all that he does. Defensively, definitely not offensively.
He did a good job of breaking it down. But even in his video, he had backhanded comments. Doesn't deserve his contract. Didn't deserve the DPOI. Gobert is a great basketball player. He impacts winning. And the disrespect needs to stop. These backhanded comments need to stop. Drop a like on the video. Subscribe if you're new. As always, man, I love you guys. Have a blessed day.